Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Diasporic Dialogues. I'm your host Naomi, and today we're talking about the G20 Summit. The G20 Summit took place on November 22nd and November 23rd, and it is an intergovernmental forum that addresses some of the issues surrounding the global economy, as well as climate change, as well as even clean energy. And this year it was hosted in Johannesburg, South Africa, which is South Africa's economic capital. The G20 Summit was first hosted in 1999 in Berlin, Germany, and with this conference, it involves the world's largest economies or the countries leading in that area, and this includes 85% of the world's GDP, 75% of the world's global trade, as well as two-thirds of the world's population. President Trump decided to boycott the G20 summit over his claims that there's a white genocide in South Africa, particularly claims often associated with white farmers. During the summit or prior to it on November 21st, the Women for Change is a South African women's organization or mostly led by women, and it addresses some of the major issues related to gender-based violence in South Africa, such as the femicide. And on November 21st at 12 p.m., there was a nationwide outcry which involved laying on the ground for 15 minutes to remember the women who lose their lives, which is 15 women a day in South Africa. During the G20 summit, President Ramaphosa is said to have made this statement: "Thank you for the support that India has given to South Africa in hosting G20. You should have told us that this is such a difficult task. Maybe we would have run away." Ramaphosa also said, "We have learned a lot from your hosting of the G20 in reference to India, and yours was spectacular building. Ours is really small." The Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister Modi's response was, "Small is always beautiful." Leading up to the G20 summit, recognizing the shutdown, the national shutdown hosted by Women for Change, but also recognizing South Africa as the first African country to host the G20 movement. This weekend was full of firsts, but also full of calls and actions for change to be made. What are your thoughts on the G20 summit that occurred this past weekend? And what does this mean for South Africa and Africa as a whole, having its first country being able to host the G20 summit? Fusion is on a mission of covering the narratives of the African, Black, and Caribbean diaspora. Stay tuned for more and follow Fusion for your dose of the daily diaspora.